What is up, Posse? My name is Will Bronick, and welcome to another review here on Alpha Omega Wolf Productions. Halloween 2018 is the direct sequel to the 1978 masterpiece directed by John Carpenter. And this one is directed by David Gordon Green and stars Jamie Lee Curtis reprising her role as Laurie Strode. And this takes place 40 years after the original Halloween. You can cross off all the other sequels. This is a direct sequel. And when Michael Myers is being taken away to another place, but it's much safer, the bus crashes, and he is out and about trying to wreak havoc and get revenge. Meanwhile, Laurie Strode, played once again by Curtis, decides to take revenge and try to take down Michael once and for all before he causes harm to anybody else. I was originally going to review the 1978 version, but thing is, time was very short, and plus I was visiting family this past weekend, so I decided to give you guys a regular movie review, and I figured this is definitely a movie that I think is worth talking about. Before I go into more detail about this movie and what I overall think about it, I think it's fair to give you guys my thoughts on the original. I obviously think it's a classic, it's a masterpiece, it easily goes down as one of the best horror movies of all time. John Carpenter really outdid himself, and it's just perfect in every way, from the setup, the story, the music, the intensity, the suspense. Everything about it was done really well, and I love Jamie Lee Curtis. She's done a great job when it comes to movies, and when I thought that she was reprising her role as Laurie in this movie, I was very intrigued to see what happened. So I went into this movie with some expectations, even though I know nothing could really top the original. So I paid for my ticket, went in, and without giving too much away, I thought this movie was pretty good. It is by no means a great movie, and it is nowhere near as good as the original. But I think this is overall a solid, good flick. For the good stuff, I really like Jamie Lee Curtis as Laurie Strode. She definitely gave the strongest performance out of everybody in this whole movie. Like I said before, I really like her work in other movies, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what else she does. I really liked her in Freaky Friday, and that is something I kind of enjoyed watching with my sister growing up. And yeah, I just think she's a really good actor. And the setup to have this movie take place 40 years after the original, this actually is kind of intriguing, because you kind of want to know what Michael has been thinking throughout these past 40 years. I also liked how they brought John Carpenter in to help out with this movie. You can definitely tell that he put in a lot of passion in trying to make this movie as faithful to the original as possible. And they definitely pay homage to the original in some ways. I mean, it's not like huge winks to the original, but it's enough to get a nostalgic feel. I also like the cinematography and the set design as well. They were really well shot, and there were definitely some really cool tracking shots too. And it was just overall kind of a pretty movie to look at. And I really enjoyed the music too, bringing back John Carpenter, who we all know did the original music for the first Halloween movie. And honestly, who could forget that classic Halloween theme? I only have one problem with this movie, and sadly it's kind of a big one. I felt like some of these characters had little to no reason for being in this movie. I mean, I know every character is supposed to have some sort of purpose, but I'll have a spoiler video come up later this week. But I just feel like that some of these characters are just here for one certain reason and for absolutely nothing else. Nothing to come back into the movie ever again. And I just feel like that's kind of annoying. And without giving it too much away, I just feel like it was kind of annoying. In the end, I thought this version was a pretty solid flick. I enjoyed it for what it was. It has its flaws, but I think it's a solid addition to the Halloween franchise. Jamie Lee Curtis with a strong performance and some neat set design and cinematography, along with the great music. But there are some characters that I honestly just didn't really care that much about, and they just felt a little flat, in all honesty. I'm going to give Halloween 2018 a 7 out of 10. Guys, that just about does it for this review. If you did enjoy this video, then be sure to give it a big thumbs up, and if you're new to the channel, subscribe for more content. Next video will be a spoiler video of Halloween 2018, and once again, I apologize this is late, because I had family to visit, and I just didn't have time to do an actual review, but I decided to make it up for you guys by doing one right here. So, until next time, see you later, Posse.